These are 3 things I wish I would have knew as a beginner mixing engineer. It's been a long journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been into music for a very, very, very long time. I remember a lot of times where I did not know anything. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Down with the full sale, kind of learned a couple of things here and there. Woo, 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 graduate. Then Atlanta, job in the studio, working, learned way more things. But I'm finna go over 3 things that I wish I would have knew early on that could have saved me a lot of time, a lot of headaches. You know what I'm saying? Probably would have made me more money or something at some point. So if that sounds good to you, could you like the video and stick with me to the end? When I first started, I wish I would have knew that a lot of people don't understand why they hire a mixing engineer. There's a lot of people that hire engineers to mix their song, to make it better, to get a vibe out, to do what they do, but then turn around and be like, oh, it's cool, I like it, but can you make it sound more like what I did? And it's like, why did you pay me all of this money to make it sound like what you did? It's kind of crazy to me, honestly, because that's one of the main reasons I do not mix for people that mix their own music, bro. I will not do that ever again unless I fuck with you, unless you want me to, like, you actually want me to do what the fuck I do, or what you want me to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're hiring me to mix your song, you want me to be me. You want me to add the Sky Jordan like vibe, the feel to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, I'm not like, if an artist, like, people hit me up all the time. They be like, hey bro, I want you, like, I mix my own music, but I just want to see what you would do. Like, nigga, no, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it because you're probably gonna be a headache, and I don't want the headache, bro. I already got to deal with a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, I'm not doing it, right? So, like, if I would have known that earlier as a beginner, I would have avoided a lot of bad clients, right? Because, like, dealing with those type of people makes me not makes me, but it's like, at one point it made me hate engineering. Like, it made me hate it, and it's like, I love it so much to the point where it's like, bro, I will turn down money to keep my peace, because I hate working with people that think they know it all. But it's like, bro, you're literally paying me. But I guess, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know. It's like, people, it's like weird. Like, it's just weird. You know what I'm saying? That's just one thing I would have knew. Because people don't understand why they hire an engineer. It's not like I'm going to hire a plumber and then I try to tell the plumber how to do the job. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I hire a painter and be like, yo, this the color I want you to paint the room, right? I'm not finna go in there and tell the painter how to hold the paintbrush or how many layers that they need to add to get the job done. It's like, I'm paying the painter to be like, hey bro, paint the fucking room. Don't be in here trying to lay fucking like, you know what I'm saying? That nigga's gonna look at me crazy if I come in there and try to paint the fucking room with him. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I just look at it as like, bro, I just learned early on that a lot of, like, all money, not good money. Like, a lot of people aren't worth the headache. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I've had times where people would send me sessions that were recorded horribly, and they would expect a miracle. And it's like, yo, who the fuck do you think I am? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I could do my shit, right? You know what I'm saying? I could really get in my mixing bag and do this shit. But it's like, bro, you want me to turn this bullshit that's recorded horribly. Not saying the songs were bullshit. It's just this horribly recorded song. Like, The thing that used to get me a lot early on was the people that didn't record with auto tune but wanted auto tune, but it's like, no, I have to melodyne your shit, manually move the notes and shit around, and then add auto tune. But it's like, to really go in there and do all the melodyne shit takes time, right? And like, people would be like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. Could you do this? Could you do? It's like, that's cool. It's part of the job. But it's like, bro, you can't send me bullshit and just expect shit to sound like A1, like you recorded it good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, that's one of the things early on that really, really, really I should have known more. But it's like, the more I had conversations with engineers that got Grammys and platinum records, and you know what I'm saying, they done went gold and all that other shit, right? That own professional studios and shit. The more I talk to them, it's like, the more I understand why they set their prices so high and they only work with label clients. Is because, hey, you get a better quality and you can control it more, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, right now, I really don't like mixing for people unless I fuck with you or and I want to see you win. So it's like, yeah, like, that's just something. The second thing I wish I knew as a beginner is that you don't need a lot of plugins. All right. Like, I think I fell into that trap early on, like before the YouTube days, before all the studio shit, like fresh out of school. You know what I'm saying? Buying up plugins, just buying plugins because they look cool, or I think I need this plugin. I fell for some of the marketing scams and tricks that people be playing. You know what I'm saying? I fell for all that. But it's like, but one thing though is like, the only reason it's only ever a good time to have all of the plugins is if you plan on working with a lot of different artists, so you can make sure you have plugins that they have. So it's like, you know, sometimes you might have an artist that use a lot of UAD, or they might use some plugin alliance plugins, that Waves and Slate Digital and like Sound Toys. So it's like, you kind of gotta have some of the main plugins that a lot of people use, because, you know, like working in the studio shit, I really wasn't fucking with Sound Toys plugins. But everyone that came to the studio and they had their templates and whatnot, like, there were Sound Toy plugins on there. Like Pan Man was one of them. Like, everyone uses Pan Man. Everyone uses like Echo Boy Jr. or Echo Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like the File Filter plugin, you know, that's a good one to have that everyone has. But it's like, you don't really need a lot of plugins if you're just mixing your music, doing your thing. But once you're like mixing for a lot of clients, right, that record themselves, you never know what plugins that they want you to have in the session with them, because there's certain people that are particular about certain plugins. Like, there'll be people that'll be like, hey, do you have XYZ? If you don't have XYZ, could you use blah, blah, blah? All right. So you got to be able to make sure, because, you know, if you got somebody that's going to spend some money, you want to be able to make sure you can be like, yeah, I got that plugin, so just send it. Right. That'll make them feel comfortable. Even if you don't use the plugin, just show them that you have the plugin. But it's like, you want to make the people that you're mixing for more comfortable. And then at the same time, if they have something in the session that they did and it's cool, right? See what makes it cool, and then you can take that, put it in your tool bag, and just keep it moving. Because it gets to a certain point when you're a mixing engineer, it's like, bro, all the plugins do the same thing at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have the Waves Pull Tech, and then you'll have the Pull Tech, and then you'll have this company's Pull Tech, and then you have this company's Pull Tech. And before you know it, you got 20 different Pull Tech plugins on your computer. For what? You know? Like, I can show you my plugin. Bro, I got 2,000 plugins, bro. And I only use like 20 on the regular. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I record with the same 10-ish plugins. Like, I swap through the 10. But it's like, bro, who the fuck needs 2,000 plugins? Like, if it wasn't for me doing YouTube content, bro, I would not have 2,000 plugins. I don't need that many plugins. I just need auto-tune and like the Neve or the Avalon or the Melon Vox Box and some reverb plugins, and I'm good, right? Give me about Like if I had like 150 plugins, I'd probably be better off. But it's like, bro, I got like 2,000 plugins. That's a lot of plugins. Shit's crazy, man. But to make it easier on yourself when it comes to plugins, use the free trial. See if you actually like the plugin. If you're actually gonna use the plugin in your workflow, then you buy the plugin. Or you learn how to use the stock plugins. Or you do whatever. The third thing I wish I knew as a beginner mixing engineer is not to overthink or overcomplicate the technical aspects of it all. A lot of people, include me at one point, used to think it's like, hey, bruh, I know this. You're supposed to do this because of this and this and this. And they said this. It's like, bruh, all that technical shit, it's cool. It's a foundation for you to build your house and just build on and just continually grow. But a lot of people overcomplicate. They'll be like, yo, I gotta use a 4-to-1 ratio because if I don't use a 4-to-1, it's not gonna be professional. If my attack isn't fast and the release ain't a little bit slow, it's not gonna sound good. I gotta side chain my reverb with the delay and this and this and this. It's like, bro, like we ain't gotta get into all the technical aspects of it all because at the end of the day, this is still a creative thing. You know what I'm saying? When you're mixing, your job is to get the emotion out. Sometimes you're going to do things that break the rules. You're supposed to break the rules. You're supposed to do things that push things forward. You have to be experimental. You know, sometimes you have to break the rule to solve the problem. You know, you can't really be by the book all the time because when it comes to EQ and vocals, there's not a correct way, one set way to EQ vocals, right? There's not a one set way to compress vocals. There's not a one set way to apply reverb and delay and saturation. And when it comes to automating, that's completely up to you and how you want to be creative. Like if you want to do delay throws a certain way where it pitch bends and format shifts and everything like that, you can do that, right? Most people might not do it because they don't want to sit there and do it or they don't understand how to do it. But if you can do something, hear something, you try it. You know what I'm saying? And you always have the technical things to fall back on, right? The technical things gives you a starting point. They give you an idea of what is possible, like what you can build on. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people will be like, you should never use a 20-to-1 ratio and blah, 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 blah. But they got it on the compressor. If they got it on the compressor, I can use it, right? Just because you wouldn't use it don't mean I can't use it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what working in a studio early on kind of helped me with, because I'm in here with people that got Grammys and they're showing me things far as like the plugins and how they use it. So I see how they use it and I take it and use it however I want to use it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing like, okay, this can be used in a different way from how the plugin developers intended for it to be used, you know? And that's kind of the same approach. Like I show people, it's like, hey bro, you can use this plugin however you want. So use it however you want. Like don't just use it the way that I use it. Don't just use it the way the other YouTubers use it or mixing engineers that you see on Mix with the Masters and everything like that. Use it the way that you use it. Like an EQ, you can shape your own world. Reverb, you can figure out your own unique settings. Delay throws, there's so many different delays where you can do things and it can be crazy. Like Melodyne, you can go crazy with Melodyne. There's not a correct way to use it. You know what I'm saying? You can use these plugins and do everything that you want to do, but you can always fall back on the technical things because there's certain things that are not going to change. Like attack is going to always be attack. The release is always going to be the release, but it's up to you to figure out the attack settings and the release settings for your compressor. The threshold can be set however you choose, right? That is up to you. There are certain things that you cannot change. The key and the scale have to be in sync with the beat, right? For the auto tune to sound good. Those are technical things that have to be there. But guess what? The creative part comes into play. The retune, the humanize, the vibrato, right? You can take certain notes out in the scale. That's you being creative. That's the human input. That's where the magic lies. is when we get to adjust the settings. We can adjust the performance to what we need. That is the beautiful thing about it. And it took me working in the studio, right? Learning from people that were better than me, you know? And that's the only way that you learn, is by listening, being open to listening and seeing different points of views, right? That is what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'd rather learn, but then go experiment, right? Try to see how far I can push what I learned, you know? So those are three things that I wish I would have known as a beginner, because literally I probably would be better off in a better space, honestly. Like, I would probably be mixing more if I didn't have a lot of bad interactions with horrible customers early on. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but you know, we live, we learn, and now I might just transition into being a mastering engineer, and mastering engineer only. So if you want me to master your songs, hit me up.